the Christmas episode of the Wrestling Rewind in July. On this show, we've gone deep into Halloween-themed wrestling events and what utter train wrecks they end up being. Well, don't worry, winter holidays get the same treatment. And as for this episode, it just wouldn't be complete without the man in red himself, wrestling Santa Claus.
Ho ho ho! I mean, yes! Yes! Yes!
Okay, alright, no need to pander. We can be professional here. Now, because you've all been so good, we've decided to come together to poop on...
You mean celebrate?
...several examples of Christmas cheer in the squared circle. Our first example comes from ECW television back in 1994.
The episode begins with a touching montage sent to the public domain version of The Little Drummer Boy.
Bum, bum. You know, seeing Shane Douglas pile drive the living shit out of a woman really puts you in that wintry spirit. Joey Styles welcomes all of us to South Philly and introduces us to his one-night-only commentating partner, this guy.
And of course, the ECW fans show us their goodwill towards men by booing the shit out of old Saint Nick.
Soon, the sea of boos become a steady 911 chant, because there's too many people in the ECW arena and it's a fire hazard?
The Dudleys are causing another crowd riot?
New Jack stabbing a fat kid in the ring and getting acquitted?
Someone needs an adult?
Oh, of course, this gentleman appears to be named 911.
Sweet Jesus, that dude is gigantic!
Well, I hope you have something decent in the old sack for Kevin Nash Jr. over here. Oh my God! He chokeslammed the living shit out of you, and goddamn did you land terribly.
Down goes Santa Claus! 911 just chokeslammed Santa!
Now, however, before we retire Christmas forever and welcome our new Kwanzaa overlords, the Pitbulls hit the ring and immediately jump 911.
So we have a misguided montage, Santa death bump, revenge for Santa, a double choke slam, and Joey Styles making the obvious wrestling pun, Seasons Beatings.
At the time of year for Seasons Greetings. Sorry.
For number 2, we visit the World Wrestling Federation in the dark days of 1995 in their winter-themed, almost pay-per-view, Seasons Beatings in Your House. You know, when you're gonna be ripping off ECW, the terrible puns should not be on the top of the list of things to steal.
So after several lukewarm matchups, we completely derail the momentum by having Ted DiBiase cut a promo furthering that Ted DiBiase is a heel?
But DiBiase's never wrestling again at this point, so who is he feuding with exactly? I see, apparently Children's Happiness. Okay. So, Ted DiBiase decides to go full Lex Luthor on us and claims to have purchased Santa Claus.
And I'll prove it to you and all these people and everybody watching at home that I can buy you.
Suddenly Savio, wait, there was nobody else in the back, Vega, shows up to get to the bottom of this and then is double-crossed by Saint Nick.
Oh, say it ain't so, Mr. Claus. You can't go and backstab Savio Vega like that. I'm just kidding. I don't care about Savio Vega. Nobody cared about Savio Vega. Mama Vega didn't care about Savio Vega.
But nevertheless, we find out it wasn't actually Santa, but evil Santa, Santa Claus. He was from the South Pole, you know.
That's right, because the mid-90s were an abyss of terrible ideas. The WWF literally tried to make an evil Santa wrestler a thing. And much like actual Christmas decorations, by February it ran its course and was just in bad taste. So they canned him.
Aw, that's kind of sad.
That's not even the worst part. This evil Santa Claus is pre-ECW Balls Mahoney.
Wait. You're telling me that WWE hired pre-flaming tables, pre-painted chairs, Balls Mahoney, and set him up with Ted DiBiase as a voice piece?
And then jam him into a holiday-themed costume and then completely future endeavor him in 2 months.
Well, that's really depressing.
Yeah. Christmas moment number 3 continues in the WWF, however it's 2 years after the legacy of Santa Claus, the evil Santa.
He was from the South Pole, you know. After a December episode of Raw went off the air, the fans, Jim Ross and Jim Cornette, were visited by, not this guy.
Yeah, Santa, there's something about this version that doesn't seem quite right. Maybe it's the general creepiness or those cold, dead eyes.
Anyway, so wannabe Santa comes out to the ring, is a dick to a little girl, and then sits around asking for Sable to come out and sit on his lap. Yikes.
Yeah, this is the context they don't show when they go over those wonderful "How great was the Attitude Era" montages. So before we can all agree, bad touch, out comes Stone Cold Steve Austin.
The beautiful early rattlesnake, before the what catchphrases, before he was the wrestling messiah, when he was just a tough Texan with the fury just below the surface, and he's here to put fake Santa in his goddamn place.
So Stone Cold quizzes this man on what Santa Claus actually brought 6-year-old Stone Cold Steve Austin. He guesses Barbies and Tiddlywinks.
I got a little Christmas present for you myself.
He guesses wrong.
This moment goes by incredibly fast, and is now considered much more important than it did at the time it actually happened. When this was filmed, it was after Raw, as sort of a zany bonus to the people who had come in attendance. Now it's showcased as, oh my god, the most outrageous Raw moments ever.
Or Stone Cold Steve Austin was out of control montage.
Or some stupid countdown about wrestling moments for Christmas. Moment number 4 actually moves out of the wrestling ring and into a wrestler playing Santa in a movie.
Santa with muscles?
No. The more recent train wreck, Santa's Sleigh, starring Bill, I'm definitely Jewish, Goldberg as an evil Santa Claus. Ugh, this movie is bad.
How does it end?
Oh, Scott Hall comes out with a cattle prod and zaps him, and Kevin Nash pins him. No, I'm kidding. It's this really weird, drawn-out curling thing, and oh, it's so just stupid. It makes me really, genuinely angry. He goes around killing D-list actors in this unending streak of bad puns and nonsense. It's just horrendous.
Santa?
Wow, sounds like you could rip that movie for approximately 9 minutes and 14 seconds.
You know, Santa, I probably could. So the 5th entrance in this god-awful list happened a lot more recently than the previous ones, and because it's the new PG era, it had to be bigger and better.
I mean, obviously, the only way to outdo St. Nick getting a stunner is to hit him with a goddamn car. It's becoming pretty clear that Vince McMahon hates the holidays and wants little children to cry.
So why did Del Rio hit Santa Claus? He did it for the Micker. I mean, The Rock. No, I'm just kidding. It was just an accident, but the rest of the roster is not so sure.
What follows are moments of other divas and superstars giving different flavors of F*** you, Del Rio, Holiday Edition.
Oh, man. Oh, there you go. The North Pole. What are you doing, man?
Hey, tranquilo.
It's today's Christmas Eve and you ran over Santa.
Hey.
What's actually bittersweet about this moment is it actually showcases a lot of examples of some great characterization of their roster, which you sometimes lose in this reality-based PG era that WWE is in, where a majority of your roster is just, here's some colored tights and an awkward name.
So, to see them be actual characters is somewhat refreshing. Unfortunately, it has to be from a vacuum of a storyline involving Santa getting run down by a goddamn car.
WWE medical personnel continue to work on Santa. There is no official word as to Santa's injuries, but as soon as we get information, we'll be sure to let you know.
Don't you dare use that Owen Hart tone of voice for a moment like this, goddammit! Jesus, Mary and all the angel Santa Clauses is terrible! I mean, between the costumes and the booking and the wink and just, oh my god, it's awful. Has there ever been anything decent, holiday-related, that involved wrestling? Anything at all?
Oh, if you were looking for something worse for the holidays, you should have said so. I know one moment's worse than any other ghost of mispast.
Look, if it's the Brawl for All tournament, save it. I've already seen it.
Oh no, this Yuletide log comes from Jerry Jarrett's USWA territory.
USWA? What the hell's the USWA?
USWA was the final relic of the territory days, a pet project of Fritz Von Erich and Jerry Jarrett. By 1992, Vince McMahon and Jim Crockett left Jerry Jarrett to throw everything at the proverbial wall to see what stuck.
So when the holidays came around, they tried to cash in on the Christmas gimmick too.
Oh yes, however, someone making the decisions decided a bright red and green tights was just simply too easy. So to get the young, hip idea to capture the coveted 18 to 24 demographic, they tapped the creative mind of a young, hip wrestler, Jerry Lawler's son, Brian.
Brian Christopher was their solution. As in the guy whose major contribution to tag team wrestling was changing his nickname from Too Sexy to Grandmaster Sexy. That Brian Christopher was their solution.
Indeed. And this brilliant idea was to take a larger-than-life greenhorn and dress him up like an angry Christmas tree.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Christmas creature.
So we've got Santa Claus walking around ringside, shaking hands and kissing babies, and then suddenly chubby Paul Heyman wannabe comes out and decides to cut a promo.
Yes, Ted DiBiase buying Santa. This is not.
Then Chubbs kicks St. Nick in the butt, which he sells a little bit too much, and his hat and wig fall off, and now he's the goddamn Shockmaster.
Well, anyway, we're set up to have a squash match during the Christmas crapper, but first, here's Brian Christopher.
Just beat up Santa Claus!
Have you enjoyed it, huh?
Christmas spirit! Santa Claus just got his butt kicked! Did you see that? Oh, fuck, that was so great! Oh, that was so...
Grandmaster Sexay has pretty much been an annoying little shit since day one, apparently.
So we finally see this abomination in action, and it's nothing of note. I mean, even if it was Dean Malenko wrestling a 5-star classic under that getup, that outfit is so goddamn distracting.
The candy cane arms, the tinsel thrown everywhere, the covering his face because who cares? What poor bastard did they force into this getup?
The Christmas creature goes by a different name these days. Corporate Kane.
Are you telling me that the same man who was a diesel, a dentist, and a demon was forced to break into the business off of a terrible, half-assed idea by the son of Jerry Lawler? Is that what you're telling me right now?
Merry Christmas!
See, I gotta be honest, this whole video has been incredibly depressing. I mean, we've got terrible characters, terrible booking, just this whole thing has just been awful. Just goddamn terrible. Is there ever gonna be a way for holidays and wrestling to come together and not completely suck ass?
Aw, come on now, Zach, it's Christmas. Almost. And if there is one thing Santa can do for all the good little boys and girls out there, it's restore your faith in humanity.
Well, how can you do that?
Well, it's a wonderful independent wrestling company named
Freak Show Wrestling.
run by a man named Sin Bodhi. He's booking some of the greatest insanity you can see in a ring, including a disciple/elf lumberjack match between Santa Claus and Jesus Christ himself.
I'm sorry, Santa, I appear to have something crazy in my ear. Can you give it to me one more time?
Jesus vs. Santa, including mid-match spankings, a virgin birth, a dual gang rumble, and the Lord and Savior hulking the f*** up.
It's the greatest thing ever to happen at Christmas.
It sure is, Zach, and you can thank it all, as well as saving professional wrestling as a whole as we know it, to independent wrestling.
Wow, thanks, Santa!
Not a problem, Zach. Now you've been good for the remainder of the year, and Santa will sure to bring you some wonderful gifts.
Like maybe some more awesome guests for the IndieCast?
Of course!
Like even Kenny Omega wrestling in Florida so I can finally meet him in person?
Now come on, Zachary, don't push your luck. Merry Christmas to all, and to all good little wrestling fans out there, see you!
Bye, Santa, bye-bye! Whew, what a fucking journey. Well, thank you to everybody who voted for this particular topic to be made into a video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks to all the Patreon supporters for helping out the show. And if you did vote for this particular topic and you didn't like this video, well, you only have yourself to blame. So, until next time, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and thank you for watching the Wrestling Rewind. I'm Zach Romero. Until next time.
You know, sun's out, guns out.
Bracelets out.